So, apologies if there's a little bit of background noise. I do have my fan on today. It is a smoker here in Hawaii today. It is a big smoker. Also, there was a fire, and man, you can still smell it, and it's nasty. So, I got my fan on. So, I apologize if that is making a little bit of background noise. But, first off, happy Halloween. It's Halloween. It's awesome. Best holiday of the year right here. Doesn't feel like Halloween because living in Hawaii, yeah, it's like 90 degrees today. It's bright and sunny and everything feels like, yeah, it feels like the middle of summer. So it doesn't really feel like Halloween today, but that's okay. That is all right. That is the nature of Hawaii. But definitely a little bit of a trippy thing when you see everyone being like dressed up and everything, and you're like, but it's summer though. So I figured I would do a little Halloween stream. I usually try to take every Halloween off, from doing work and stuff. But this time I had to go in to work in the morning and handle some stuff. So now I'm back, and I get to have the rest of the day off, which is very nice. Not as nice having a whole day off, but we take what we can get, right? And what I can get today is a franken dragon. There he is right there, our big old boy. And then here he is with a scorpion tail. And here he is with a tentacle. And here he is with some kind of electrode. And then here he is with some kind of dragon arm. And another dragon arm. And I had a head primed for him. But apparently all these prints, when you use the pre-supported ones, they actually come pre-hollowed. Just be aware of that, because if you're not and you don't clean them out like they're hollowed, they'll drip resin everywhere. So that's what his head that I had primed did. But we've got some other heads. Not going to be painting them today, but you know, he can have like moray eel anglerfish head. He can also have crab claw. Is this the one that goes on this side? Let's see. Oh, no, wrong side. Hold up. Gotta find the crab claw for the right side. Could also have a crab claw. No, I guess it is the right side. Yeah, there it is. He could have a crab claw. He could have... this is some kind of tentacle. I think it's for the other side. Yeah, you could have a tentacle. We got some robot parts. There we got a big old fish tail. I guess there actually isn't like an actual literal fish tail. I guess this is like the dragon tail. You can have a head for a tail, which I think is the coolest one. I think that's like the coolest one right there. And then we got a big set of wings as well. So you can also have wings if I wanted him to. Which is pretty cool. So yeah, man. I dropped the head. That's fine. We're not painting that one today anyway. But man, 10 out of 10. This thing is awesome. So this is from Dragon Trappers Lodge. Their Halloween pack, which today is the last day to get it, is actually like 4 years worth of Halloween packs, which is super, super rad. So you get this, and you get like a billion other models for like 10 or 12 bucks. And it's really cool. Maybe it's 16. But you get like tons of cool parts. And as you can see, these are all magnetizable. I only have a couple of the magnets in, so they're only holding so-so right now. But I mean, even that, with only half the magnets in, holds pretty damn well. So that's pretty cool. So, let's see, like I've got one in there. And then bloop. and it holds fine. So, yeah, pretty cool. The only thing to really watch out for this is that a bunch of these pieces are pre-hollowed, which is kind of obnoxious. I wish they wouldn't pre-hollow them. I'd rather just have them be a little heavier. So you just gotta be aware of that. But we're gonna get some paint on the Franken Dragon today, because this seemed like the most Halloween-y model that I had. So I figured I would get some paint on him. And my husband just got home. Give me 1 second. Okay. Alright, I am back. Oh. Alright. So, we gotta get some paint on this guy. So let's look at the pieces we got first off. We've got a big old dragon body. Some kind of like kitty cat leg. Right? And then we have what I think is stitches, and then another different monster foot. So what we're gonna do, I think we're going to let's do some of it in this green, because I feel like using this color, and that's a nice one. And if we do the main dragon body in that, we can then dry brush it, and it should look really nice. So you guys probably can't see it, but actually, you know what? You probably can. Let's figure out a way for you to. Nope. There it is. Right there. I know, I own a store paint rack. Because it was on, they were selling it at the store because they were stopped carrying the model color paints. This one store is. So I decided to pick it up, and it's pretty darn cool. It's gonna work super good, I think, for, you know, kind of like the fact that I'm sort of moving to almost entirely dropper bottles. I think it's gonna work pretty good. Probably be a little bit of like trouble kind of learning error with it, just because it's new, you know, but all right. So we got some blue. I think we're gonna do the other dragon foot in blue. Then we got some green, and we got some color for the kitty cat foot. So it's base coating time. So we're just gonna base coat our boy here. Get him rocking and rolling. Let's see, do I have a... There we go. Bonk. Yeah, so this is dark green from Game Color, from Vallejo. So my plan is that because the arms and legs don't fit together like perfectly, I think it's actually gonna be really cool. So I'm gonna paint the joining sections red like meat. You should just be able to see the tiniest bit of it. It should look really, really awesome. I think it's actually intended to not sit perfectly, but just the nature of printing and curing resin, unless there's really not like a ton of error leadway. So I think that might be that, but it does strike me as it's intended to almost sit flush, but not exactly, so you can kind of like see the space between it. Because if I wanted to glue this guy together, I think I could basically get it to sit almost perfectly, so... But that's no fun. The fun of the Franken Dragon is that you can swap the pieces in and out. When will I actually physically do this in a game? Probably never. But is it really cool to have on my desk and be like, oh, today you're going to have dragon wings? Bonk. Yes. Yes, it is. So we are gonna do that. So yeah, so this dark green is a really nice color. It's really good, solid emerald color. I guess I gotta find a red for the fleshy bits too. Because I think if we do those in red and then dry brush them pink and then hit them with a red wash, they'll look really cool. I think. I got this tablecloth because I didn't like how my my board looked with the smaller dead zone board, or my table looked with the smaller dead zone board. So I picked this up at Walmart, but honestly, it's been a pain in the ass. It just kind of like slides everywhere. Technically, I have clamps in 2 of the corners. I need to put the rest of the clamps down that hold like the camera and stuff through it. I think it'll work better then, because it's a real pain right now. It's like if I just wiggle too much, it pulls one way or another and then gets all wrinkly and big pain in the tail. Oh man, I am so not used to going work today. Halloween's like usually my special holiday I take off, but it's not on the cards because apparently Halloween is not as important to other people as it is to me. So that's fine. I got to help people out, and that's always a nice thing to do during the day. You know, always makes your day a little bit better. When you can genuinely improve other people's taste. It's cool. This green's kind of like a chupacabra kind of green. I think it's also just like the hunched overness of this and the fact that it has spines on his back that makes me think it's look like a chupacabra. Because once you start adding the other parts, it kind of definitely is very clearly like a weird dragon. But yeah, I have to give Dragon Trapper's Lodge a lot of credit. This is like legitimately one of the coolest ideas for a model I think I've ever seen. Like, it's really awesome. And like, even if you didn't want to swap the bits out, but although that's a lot of the fun, you could print this out and then mirror it to get the other body direction, and you'd have like 2 kind of like franken dragons if you wanted to use them in like a D&D scenario or something, like those hounds from Ghostbusters. They aren't franken animals, but you know what my brain was thinking. Alright, so we're going to do some of the dragon bits in blue, and then I think we're going to do some of them in... Ooh, I don't want to do red, because I kind of want the only really red parts to be the like bloody stumps. So I don't think we'll have any red dragon pieces. I could do like a totally different red, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a yellow dragon piece. So we're going to do this foot back here. We're going to do that in blue. So this arm I think we'll do in yellow. And this one we'll do in blue. And that should give us some nice variation. So because we are just like painting like bits, doesn't mean we're gonna have to paint them in a couple of rounds. We're gonna have to otherwise we're just gonna get covered in paint. You're a little wiggly today, aren't you, Mr. Camera? I wonder what's up. There we go. Alright, we'll just set that down. We'll paint the base coat for this foot in. Because really, this guy has like a ludicrous amount of detail. He's really a pretty good candidate for stuff like speed paints and stuff like that. And especially dry brushing. I think after we get the base coats and then maybe a wash on, I think we'll be shooting for lots of dry brushing today. Because he has a ton of detail, but none of it's like crazy intricate, right? Like you're not painting the wings on the tiny little bees that are flying out of like a Death Guard guy's back, you know? Which I don't mind doing, but you know, it's way different versus this kind of detail. So and this one is khaki, again from Game Color. Really fallen in love with these Game Color paints, man. I tell you what, I really am liking them. I also really like the AK Interactive ones I've gotten recently. They're really nice. So this guy has a big tentacle. I'm trying to figure out, as I primed one of the tentacle bits. I'm thinking about what color that should be. Maybe like purple? Maybe we'll do some of the tentacle stuff in purple. Maybe like purple with a pink dry brush, and then we hit it with some kind of like pink or purple speed paint maybe. That'd be pretty good. Because these lines here holding these bits on, I am going to hit them with a red so they match as well. So they're going to get a line of red where they're connecting up. So, alright, we've got a lot of really dark colors so far. So let's do the red, I guess, next. I guess we want to do probably a pretty bright kind of red. We've done a lot of really dark colors. And they are going to get dry brushed and stuff, but kind of debating redoing the green. It's dark green is a little dark. I think maybe actually doing it a bright green might be better. I don't know. Maybe I'll dry brush it with a bright green and we'll see what we get in the end. Alright, let's do some bloody stumps first. What do we say we do? Abomination Gore. Abomination Gore. So this is kind of a reddy brown kind of color. In my other videos where I was painting goblins and stuff, this is the skin color. Like when I painted that ogre lady on a couple weeks ago. And I think this will make a nice base. Because I think if we do this and then we hit it with like a red wash, maybe a pink dry brush, it should be pretty good. Right, because this is kind of like a red, I don't know, kind of like a more of like a dried kind of blood versus like something super fresh. But it should give a really nice base for a contrast paint or similar. But yeah, man, I cannot sing this model's praises enough. It's a cool model. And really, Dragon Trapper's Lodge for making it. Oh, dude. I don't know how I haven't seen it until now. because I go to their My Mini Factory page all the time. So I have no idea how I didn't see this till it was part of the Halloween collection. Because I would have picked this up a long time ago, because it's really cool. And the pack it comes with has all kinds of cool stuff, like gourd monsters and mimics and all kinds of cool stuff. Meaty. But yeah, man. I'm really hoping we get trick-or-treaters this year. It's at our other house out here in Hawaii, we never got trick-or-treaters. So, really hoping we get some this year. That'll give me an excuse to get all dressed up and everything next year. It's really not very much fun if you don't really have anywhere to go, or, you know, trick-or-treaters coming, right? Like, so. It's not like I have, like, parties or anything to go to, you know? And I'm sitting here painting a dragon's ass, for example, you know? Alright. Now, we're going to set him down for a second. And we're going to let him be. We're going to paint this tentacle. Paint that tentacle blue violet. Sounds like a good tentacle color to me. And we'll let this set. Yeah, just try to get through a couple of these parts. Well, we streamed together today. I just need a break to a bright color. Oof, yes, that's good. 10 out of 10 blue violet. You also have, yeah, like there's all these other pieces too. Like I didn't print out the, I have a set of dragon wings somewhere too. Where did I put the dragon wings? I have dragon wings. I don't know where I put them. But yeah, I printed out a set of dragon wings. But yeah, there's a whole set of like weird like human arms and fists and stuff. Or you can even have like the dragon's head be a fist. Really weird shit. But I didn't print any of those out. I also didn't print out, there's a big fish tail, like an actual fish tail. Like it legitimately looks like you just cut it off a fish. That was kind of cool, but it was a little bit too much the host for me. So I was like, nah, I'm not feeling that. And there was a weird like brain head I didn't print out. Where did those dragon wings go? Hold on, this is gonna bug me. Let me see if I find them. Huh. I know I printed those out. Oh shit, I have no clue where those went. Yeah, I have a set of dragon wings that aren't the bird wings. So we got the bird wings, but there's like an actual like set of like actual dragon wings I also printed out. Weird. I'll have to find those. Not sure where they got to. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. It's really, really cool. Oh, let's find a good white for the scorpion. There we go. So, like I said, I don't really have any plans at all for this model. Like what to use them as. Because, I mean, I could probably use him as something from the Doomed, maybe. Like he could maybe be a different monster in the Doomed. But honestly, like, oh, this is scale color. It's birch something. The printing on the name on the scale color bottles always wears off. It's really annoying. But yeah, he could maybe be something from the Doomed. Like, I imagine he's probably for like a D&D scenario, really. That's probably the intent with him. Like, you fight him one time and he has XYZ special powers. And then you see him again and now he has, you know, new pieces or something like that. You know, or maybe he gets set on the table and you roll for what pieces he's going to have. And whatever piece he has gives him positives and negatives, right? Like maybe if he has tentacles, he has extra reach. But if he has arms, maybe he can like do a grab attack or something. I imagine that's probably what this guy's intended for. But it's just such a cool model that I couldn't resist printing it out. Let's see. You can also do the spines on his back in this color. It's a problem with a model like this is it's going to be very easy to have orphan colors. And that's where you have like one color by itself with it not repeated anywhere else in the model. You know, like if I use one cyber wing or whatever, like it's going to make, you know, that piece is going to have silver in it, and nothing else will have silver in it, you know, so by design, this guy's going to have a lot of trouble with orphan colors. So at least if I do the scorpion tail in the bone color, like I can dry brush it slightly different, but it'll still have that base. Alright, I'm just going to set that down to dry. We'll get a little more paint of this out and we'll start working on his spines. And then I guess we'll just start working on the meat. Working on the meat. Alright, so let's pick some toenails and let's pick some spines out. Because we'll use this as our unifying claw color. I do also really appreciate that this model can attach to a base without having to have one of the arms to lean on. So you basically just glue the body onto the base. And everything else just can snap on. Doesn't need to support any weight or anything like that. And I have him on what I think is a 90, maybe it's a 100 base. I basically just found the biggest base I had in my bag of bases and slapped him on that. I think this is the base for maybe an Armiger, maybe? Maybe it's a little bigger than that. Maybe this is the base for I don't know. What are they called? A Mauler Fiend, maybe? just gonna get these down as the base colors, and then we'll start moving to some more interesting painting. I'm gonna go to the dry brush. One of the YouTubers I watch is a guy called Bill Making Stuff. And, every time he would say dry brush, he would always tell this story about how it came from a guy with the last name Dry Brush. Just kind of like picking on 40K, how the Land Raider came from a guy named Arkham Land, which is just, it's like fucking dumb. But it's also just funny. So now whenever I think of the word dry brush, I think of him and how he says it. So dry brush makes me think of him. Good YouTube channel, that you should check it out. Way more entertaining than me. Alright. Franken dragon spines are painted. Let's figure out what we're gonna do next. Let's see. Ooh, I got a medium orange express color. Maybe that would be good. Got an umber wash. Got a demon blood wash. I've got a cardinal purple, which is actually like a red. I don't tend to buy a lot of reds, to be honest, so got just red tone. Some kind of flesh wash. What are you? Mid brown, dark tone, blue tone. You're basically empty. Alright, let's check the GW stuff. Huzzah! Got Gilliman Flash. What the hell are you? Wagon Orange, you're not what I want. Are you? Blood for the Blood God, also not what I want. You're totally dried up, also not what I want. Alright, we'll do Gilliman Flash. So let's get some actual fleshy meatiness there. So we'll break out Kobold Skin, which is my favorite flesh tone. Though I do also really like the one from Tooth and Coats. And we'll shake both these up. So we'll do the Gilliman Flash after we do a dry brush. So dry brush. Get a little bit of on there, like that. Choo 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 choo. And then choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. A bit more of it on there. Meaty. One of the things I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get the edges, I think. Yeah. Actually looks like meat. So that's pretty good. Now we're going to hit that with some Gilliman flesh. I'm going to get a thing so I don't knock this over. I'll show you the best thing ever created for GW paints. See, the thing is, when I got the new paint rack, I moved everything around and now I can't find anything. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. I legitimately moved everything around and now I can't find a single goddamn thing. Alright, this thing is the greatest thing for GW paints, because what it does is that. And now I can't spill this guy no matter how hard I try. Alright, there we go. Okay. What do I want? That's a knackered brush, but it'll do for washes. We're just gonna hit this. And it should make this look, once it dries, nice and gross and meaty, which is exactly what we want. And we will tidy up the edges after it dries, because I want to see how it looks after some pieces are connected before I tidy up the edges. Maybe we actually hit it with another dry brush of meat, like of the flesh tone afterward, maybe. We'll see. We'll see after it dries and go from there. Alright, so that's our boy. He's going to dry now. Now we're going to move over to this foot here. And I'm going to use Skeleton Horde for that. And then when that is done, we're going to dry brush and stipple on a lighter color, kind of in a fur pattern. It's supposed to be a kitty cat leg, so we're going to Skeleton Horde it, and then we're going to go from there. So Skeleton Horde is a really nice, like, kind of brownish contrast paint. Produces kind of this, like, dirty taupe color. It's really nice. And we're just going to use this basically in place of a wash. Yep. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to let that dry. Alright, while that dries, I don't want to do the green yet, because I want to get the flesh sorted before I handle the green. So while that dries, I'm going to figure out what to do with this blue. So this blue is pretty dark, to be honest. It's a pretty dark color. I got some extra wash pool in there. I'm going to clean that up real quick. So I want a little bit of pooling because it'll look nice, but a little bit too much is bad. If you wanted to be really cheeky, you could paint all the magnets in white like they're bone, and the fact that you can kind of like see them would make sense if you wanted to be really cheeky. Alright, so we got this dark blue, so I think I need some kind of light blue to dry brush over that. Now, I can just do straight up light blue, or I could do some kind of like teal. But you know what, let's keep it a light blue. Let's do that, and then, what are you? Plasmatic bolt now. Give me a... There's some kind of contrast paint to use in place of a wash. Let's see what we got. What are you? Oh. Thunderbird Blue. Cloudburst Blue. What do you do? Alright. Alright. Let's see. Oh, we've got Cloudburst Blue, and I've got Electric Blue. Electric Blue is actually just a really light blue. It's not actually like a crazy blue color. Like it's not like fluorescent or anything like you think it would be. This looks really dark. Now we'll see. And then we will dry brush her with the lighter blue. Which means we are probably going to hit the toes, but that's fine. We'll come back and hit them. Oof, man, this is mega dark. So we're also going to have to paint the line where these pieces connect, the legs. Just so they match up with the rest of the meaty pieces. So, not worried about being mega neat here. Around like the toes and stuff, so it's better to get it covered in this blue than it is to leave a gap around the toe. Man, that is really dark. That's like, oof, okay. We're really gonna need to dry brush the hell out of that. That's like almost black. Youch, no wonder I have almost a whole bottle of that left still. Yeah, that's crazy. Alright. So let's see. If we put the tail on, right? You should get to see a little bit of that meaty line with the red. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Alright, we'll go ahead, wet this with another coat while we let the meat dry a little bit more. Gonna let the meat dry. This kind of model is terrible for wasting paint. Just absolutely terrible for it. Really, I should be using my wet palette for this guy. That would be the big brain play, because then the color would continue to exist really nicely, even when it's not like the main color being used. But yeah, I highly cannot recommend this model enough. I do not think I'm actually going to get him completed on stream though. This is taking way longer than I thought it would. That's okay. I'll just finish him up later tonight and put up photos on Instagram for everybody to check out. Yeah, because like this tail is going to need a couple coats before I can even hit it with washes. And then it's going to need dry brushing and stuff like that after that. Let's do the tentacle, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about this. About that color. I don't know about this. This might have been a bad choice. We might repaint that, to be honest. So what I'm thinking with these tentacles is that they're going to get purple, and then a dry brush. They're going to get some kind of purple wash. I'm sorry, they're going to get a purple base coat, a wash of like a purple or blue, maybe like Dragon Shaft Nightshade, And then they're going to get a dry brush of purple all the way around, and then I'm going to do like contrast paint on like half of it and blend it down. That's my plan for that anyway. Yeah, that foot is basically black now. I am not a fan of that. Sorry, Cloudburst Blue. You're bad, my friend. You are a bad color. Okay. Well, I tell you what. I feel like he's really dark. So let's try replacing that color with this one. So this is electric blue. This is just a genuinely really nice blue. Cause yeah, that cloudburst blue, that's way too freaking dark. That's just like pure dark blue. Like almost black. I am not a fan of that. So I'll hit it with this lighter color and just repaint it, because that's the power of models. You never really mess them up all the way. You can always fix them somehow, you know. Even if you gotta strip them and go back to plastic or metal, you can do it. In this case, I'm just gonna paint over it. It's fine. It's only a couple layers of paint. And yeah, it should just be a little brighter too. I just feel like he's really dark. A creature like this, I feel like, I don't know, like some people might be like, oh, that's a gross creature, but I don't know, I think innately in a franken dragon has a good bit of like whimsy to it, right? Especially when you start giving it weird pieces, right? Like none of these pieces are like grotesque or anything, so like, I don't know. I feel like it's got a little bit of comedy to it, so it should be a little brighter. All right, so this skeleton horde's probably dry enough, so we can start to work on him now. So what we're going to do for him is, one, we're going to hit him with a dry brush. And then we're going to start stippling paint onto him so that he looks kind of like fur-like. He's going to get kind of a fur-like pattern out of it. So, because there's not going to be a ton of edges for this dry brush to catch on. So it's going to probably look pretty rough, to be honest. Man, I'm just screwing everything up today. Alright, now we're going to break out the stippling. Let me grab a good brush for some stippling. One that is, don't mind like being screwed up. Or one that is already screwed up. So we're going to go back to our original color for this stippling. And that's this khaki from Game Color. I'll make sure my brush is super wet. It's an old knackered brush, by the way. I'm just going to make sure she's super wet. And we're just going to pop her on. A little too wet. It's a little too wet. Man, I can't do anything right today, can I? Screwing everything up. Yeah. Messed that up and basically just ended up glazing it again. Ay, 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 ay. Alright, well, bad job, Josh. Bad job. You know what? At least the meat came out looking good. The meat looks good. So if nothing else, my meat looks good. So there's that, right? At the end of the day, at least we have that. Alright, so let's paint some little lines around the edges of the meat, and then we'll call it, because I apparently am just screwing everything else up. So this is just going to give us a little bit of a line to where the meat starts and where the meat ends, and then this is also going to give us the point where we can clean up to with the other thing. We'll probably hit that with a Brute Guilliman. Brute Guilliman flesh, now that I think about it, as well. So really, I probably should have done this before I washed it, but yeah, I'm just screwing everything up today, so. Yeah, 'cause I basically just reglazed that entire leg. Ay, 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 ay. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you. Yeah, because I'm going to have to hit this with another layer, because it's having trouble going over the dark from that really bad contrast paint. But at least the meat looks good, so there's that. Yeah, I might paint the magnets in his bone. I think that would be kind of cool, to be honest. Oh, man. Well, you know, it's nice it's a holiday. Might not have been my ideal plan for the holiday, but it's still a cool holiday. Really hoping I get some trick-or-treaters. Hoping get to see some cool costumes, you know. I'm gonna make some kids' days brighter with some cool candy. My husband got all kinds of cool candy at Costco. We're doing the full-size candy bars. You know, and the nice thing is with doing this line, I can also do this between the sections, and it should work pretty good. The sections where you stitch together a little bit more, like here in the back. Right, like, and I can hit that with Guilliman Flesh. It should look pretty good. The spots around the legs, maybe. And that'll end up looking pretty good. I'll just use this to paint a line around the leg. It'll reinforce the stitched on nature of this. So there are technically stitches sculpted there, they're just very light. So I'm gonna be honest, now that that's drying, that actually doesn't look that bad. The tiger leg actually doesn't look that bad at all. No, not the intended effect, but it's actually not that bad looking. This, however, this is a mess, so. Got some more stitches here. And we'll just hit all these with Rabute Guilliman Flesh once it's done. Once it's done drying. I sculpted him a little sheath, so we'll get some pink in there too. Alright, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it there. But at least the meat came out looking pretty good. And he's a cool model. This is an idea of what he will end up looking like. And then he'll have a head like, say, this one right there. Yeah, that's the idea of what he'll look like, even if we didn't get there to completion. But yeah, pretty cool STL, pretty cool mini. Would highly recommend. He is going to take a little longer to paint than I thought, though. I expected to be able to do the whole thing in an hour because he doesn't have a ton of like really tiny detail, but it's not just, that's just not going to work out, unfortunately. Alright, well, there's part of our dragon with his meaty bits done. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to call it there. Oh, I forgot to give him his electrode. That's going to be fun to paint. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and